Once upon a time, there was a magical land where all of the people who lived there were happy and free. They were kind-hearted and generous. They shared their wealth evenly. There was no such thing as poverty, hunger, or violence. Love was in abundance here. They were called the sovereigns. This magical land was very special because the people of this land decided that they didn't need to be ruled by a king or a queen, because each and every living man, woman and child knew that they were sacred and sovereign. Not far away, in the kingdom of opposites, lived an evil lizard. Oops, I meant to say evil wizard. And his name was Epop. He lived in a golden castle filled with gold and jewels that he had stolen from other kingdoms. He was a very greedy and power-hungry wizard indeed. In the kingdom of opposites, up is down, down is up, good is bad, and bad is good, lies are truth, and truth are lies. The evil wizard Epop had a devilishly evil army called the Dark Knights of the Templars, and they would invade other kingdoms and torture and kill the sovereigns who wouldn't accept the rule of the Epop. They wouldn't accept the rule of the Epop because they knew that they didn't need to be ruled because they were sovereign and divine. The evil wizard Epop placed a curse over all of the living men, women and children of every land. He blinded them to their true power and sovereignty by turning them into paper people. He tricked them into believing that he and his Dark Knights of the Templars had the power and they needed him for their salvation because Epop was the only pathway to sovereignty. Epop sent out a proclamation saying that he was the supreme ruler. He was so evil that the proclamation was written on the skin of human flesh. He made himself a golden triple crown to deceive the people and wore it to declare that he owned the entire world. He believed that he ruled the people, owned their property and their souls. The people that lived in the kingdom of opposites had no idea what was really going on, because their up was down and their down was up, their good was bad and their bad was good, and their lies were truth and their truth were lies. The people who lived in the kingdom of opposites were kept very busy by the evil wizard Epop. He knew that by distracting them, they wouldn't realise that he made them all slaves. So he razzled and dazzled and entertained the masses with infamous actors who were masterful tricksters. They were not who they said they were, and they were who they said they were not. When the people of the kingdom of opposites weren't working, they would spend their time staring into the enchanted portal of deception. This portal was magically controlled by Epop to hypnotize and program the people so they wouldn't realize that they lived in a land of opposites. They believed what they saw was the truth. They believed Epop was a kind and benevolent ruler, and that they were all free. Even though Epop the evil wizard believed that he owned all of the people of the land, their property and their souls, it wasn't enough. He wanted more. He knew that he could become richer and more powerful if he could drain their life sparkle, which is their sovereign essence. He knew that through the magic of the enchanted portal of deception, he could convince the entire kingdom that the world was a scary place. He wanted fear to reign supreme. He wanted them to believe that their friends were their enemies and their enemies were their friends. His ultimate plan was to make everyone forget that they are sovereign. Here's what he did. He sent a curse through the enchanted portal of deception, telling lies through vision. The people were razzled and dazzled and entertained with infamous actors who were masterful tricksters. They were not who they said they were, and they were who they said they were not. He showed the people of a sickness that was so deadly that it could kill everyone that they ever loved. He told the people that the sickness was called the sovereign virus, and to prevent the spread of this sovereign virus, they needed to turn their homes into jails and lock themselves away from everyone. They were told not to come out until the evil wizard Epop had created a magical cure that would save them. The sovereign virus was a spell. The jails that they all made for themselves were very, very dark. They closed their curtains and their doors and shut themselves away from life. They were told that their friends were their enemies and their enemies were their friends. Hugging was outlawed and sunshine was banned. They now had more time to watch the enchanted portal of deception, and as they did, their life sparkle waned. Their fear made them so sick that they did the opposite of what they needed to do to be happy and healthy. Remember, in the kingdom of opposites, everyone believes that up is down, down is up, good is bad, bad is good, lies are truth, truth are lies. The evil wizard Epop's curse was so effective that everyone had forgotten that they were sovereign and divine. They didn't even realize that they were slaves and had imprisoned themselves, and that the magical cure was in actual fact a spell to make them forget who they really were. Enter Setag, the keeper of the gate. The evil wizard Epop appointed a skillful trickster by the name of Setag, who was the keeper of the gate. His job was to convince the people of all of the lands that the only way to cure the spread of the sovereign virus was through a mosquito's proboscis, which are actually 6 teeny tiny microneedles that are used to drink blood. But because this is the kingdom of opposites, where up is down and down is up, and good is bad and bad is good, and lies the truth and truth are lies, the mosquitoes were not drinking the blood, they were injecting the sovereign virus spell into the people. Setag, the keeper of the gate, also had control over the army of the Dark Knights of Templiars. He was able to trick the people into doing exactly what they were told to do. Setag, the keeper of the gate, wore pastel jumpers and enchanted spectacles that made him seem very wise and knowledgeable. He pretended to be a doctor and offered an abundance of advice, showing fancy charts and curves and projections. The people oohed and ahed in amazement. They believed that he had the only cure. He would be the one to save them. Setag, the keeper of the gate, had an army of tricksters who did exactly as they were told, because they were paid handsomely and ransomly to do so. They helped him spread his deception and perception far and wide. They lied and they tricked and they tricked and they lied, telling lies so often that the lies became truth and the truth became lies. Now remember, this was the kingdom of opposites, where up was down and down is up, and good is bad and bad is good, and lies are truth and truth are lies. What the Epop hadn't bargained for was that some people in the kingdom of opposites were immune to the sovereign virus spell. They were not easily fooled. They somehow knew that up wasn't down and down wasn't up, and good wasn't bad and bad wasn't good. They knew the truth that up was up, down was down, good was good and bad was bad. Truth is truth, lies are lies. These special sovereigns were known as mystical meditators. They were connected to their inner compass. That is why they knew that up wasn't down and down wasn't up, and good wasn't bad and bad wasn't good. They knew that up was up, down was down, good was good, bad was bad, truth is truth, lies are lies. Their life sparkle was not dimmed by the evil Epop, the evil wizard, wizard. Anyway, same. And they could see that Setag, the keeper of the gate, was not what he said he was. They could see that Setag, the keeper of the gate, was not what he said he was, and said what not he was. The sovereigns knew that they were sovereign and divine. The sovereigns were very clever, and because they knew that up wasn't down and down wasn't up and good wasn't bad and bad wasn't good, and they knew the truth, the sovereigns gathered together and proclaimed their sovereignty and divinity. Their life sparkle shone brightly throughout the kingdom. They were able to ignite the sparkle of the entire kingdom by declaring their sovereignty. What happened next was not what the power-hungry evil Epop had expected to happen. The curse that he placed over all the people in the land to turn them into paper people so that he could remove their sovereignty was reversed. When the people began to remember that they were divinely sovereign, the evil Epop had no more power over them. The reign of deception was no more. Setag, the keeper of the gate's plan to prick all the people with his 6 probuses was foiled. He was seen to be the trickster that he was, and Epop had all of his powers taken away. He was no longer a wizard, and his crown was removed. I declare that I am sovereign over all realms. I hold the sovereign title as a living human being over myself. I denounce all and any false claims over myself, including God, soul, spirit, body, property, beloved family, and my freedom. My free will is my sovereign right. And so it is.